Everybody, Martyn at Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm tying an absolutely deadly little nymph. It's the Duracell Jig. Great for grayling, trout, coarse fish eat it, barbel. I've used it here for the Martyn, the sea run dace. It's a great fly and well worth having in your box. As always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anybody that wants to support the channel, get access to the monthly fly tying classes, and enter the giveaways. Alternatively, if you find the videos useful, remember to hit the like button. If you watch the whole video, that also helps the channel to grow. Right, so I've got my hook and my vise, and this is a Hanak 450 BL, size 14, but you can tie these, 16's probably about as small as you can comfortably go really. It becomes a bit difficult when you go much smaller than that, all the way up to an 8. And obviously you can size the bead to suit yourself, right? This is a 3mm silver bead I've got in here. On the 14 you could probably go as big as a 3.8 or maybe even a 4, down to a 2.5. I've run on some grey uni 80. You can use like brown, like the camel's a good colour as well. Black would do, but it would darken the fly a bit much, for my taste anyway. My tail I'm going to use Coq de Leon, and I'm going to get, say, roughly a half dozen fibres. I'm going to draw them out from the stem so that the tips line up, and then tail them away. I'm just going to measure them so they're about a shank length. And you can see here, right, my bead's still loose. I find it much easier to measure the tail length against the shank if the bead's there. If it's up at the front, it's kind of in the way a wee bit, but I can sort of move that much easier if I do it this way. So catch that in with a couple of turns. That looks fine. Come up with, and I'm just going to come up, and then I'll get my rib, which is small red wire. Going to just shove it in the back of the bead there. I'll sort of pull it across and down onto my side, then take my thread back to the tie-in point. The body is ice tub, and the colour is UV brown, right? It's got to be this colour. Now, I don't really believe in UV, but because salmonids can't see it, except for the juveniles, the us, they can't see in the UV spectrum. But this colour is very effective. That sort of purple flash that you can see, and that brown sort of nondescript, it's just a wee thing that you can eat if you're a fish, So anyway, getting this dubbing on, and I'm keeping it sparse, right? All of the Duracells, most of the Duracells that you see, right, they're far too heavy, I reckon. Especially the commercially available ones are really too fat. I want a nice wee skinny body, but I can have a touch more there. Like, overall, I would say, if you don't think too much about the fuzz of the body, I only really want to like double, maybe 2.5 times the thickness of the hook wire, which is what I've got there. Like the actual, like the core of the fly, the straggly fuzzy bits of the dubbing. Keep it thin, it sinks better and it will catch you more fish. Right, so I'm going to take a ton of wire at the back and I'm going to come up the body, 4 wraps, and then into my 5th I'll get my tie in. Just lock that in and then bend and break it away. And then we're ready for the collar. So I'm going to make a dubbing loop. I mean, you could wind your CDC as a hackle, but I think on this fly it sort of lends itself to the dubbing loop lends itself to the dressing a bit better. So I've just made a small dubbing loop there, and I'm going to get half of a CDC feather. Right, I've already used, don't know how well you can see that, I've already used half of this one for the previous fly. I'm just going to sort of draw the hackle barbs out to the side. I'll catch it in my clip. Come in with the big scissors, cut it straight across. Get the dubbing spinner in. And come in. Put the CDC in. Now it's not a lot, right? It's quite a sparse amount of CDC I've got here. It ends a wee bit long there. Just tap that in. Spin it up. Get this nice and tight. I like to spin until the twist starts sort of like pulling, like lifting the thread, as it's trying, because it just starts trying to double up on itself. Then you know it's as tight as you can go. So I'm going to just sort of sweep that back and then just wind it like a hackle. Just sweep it every turn. Build that sort of wispy, mobile CDC collar in there. When you use it up, a couple of turns over it, fold it back, take another couple of turns over, and that's it, locked in. And then just trim away the waste. Anything that's going forward, just sort of draw it back, tidy up. Now if there's some of these fibres are a wee bit long, just pinch them away so that I don't really want them any longer than the tail. That's fine. So what I'm going to do, so I've got a nice collar, a dubbing, with an invisible whip finish is. Put a 4-turn whip finish in here now. I'm going to put some more dubbing on the thread and whip finish with the dubbed thread. You know, if you're using the thread as a hot collar or something, then obviously you wouldn't want to do this. But on this fly I like it just to sort of disappear. So, wee bit of dubbing, just the same dubbing. And push the dubbing right up so it starts immediately on the knot. And then use the whip finish tool. Just come in, 1, 2. And the dubbed thread is what's actually been used to form the knot. And it's still nice and secure. Trim away the waste. And that's fine. And now what I like to do, just so it's, obviously there's not really any exposed thread, so I like to use one of these wee applicator bottles. Although you could probably use your dubbing needle. And I'll just put a wee drop on my head cement. It's basically flooding the slot of the bead. Make sure that is clear just in case. And there you go. That's the Duracell. Great fly. Absolutely deadly. You really should have these in your box. I mean, you can change the bead colour and all that if you want, but this is sort of the original pattern, and it really is very, very effective. So, I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up below and subscribe to the channel. Tight lines, guys. Bye.